Hello all! So I just saw the second trailer for the new Ghostbusters remake coming out, and I did review the first trailer, so why not review the second trailer and give you my thoughts on that. But before I do, I wanted to comment a bit on the Angry Video Games Nerds' thoughts on the new Ghostbusters movie. James Roloff, he made a video very recently where he said he would not watch this, he refuses to. And he gave his reasoning for it. Now, his reasoning for it was a bit odd, and his timing of his video was a bit odd. This is a guy who pretty much sees anything. He saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles remake, which looked a lot worse than this does, and I'm sure that was one of the worst movies that year. But he waited a long time before he posted his thoughts on why he would not watch it. And when he did finally post his thoughts on why he would not watch it, they were super generic. He basically said, I don't want to watch it because I like the original too much. And his reasoning didn't really make much sense either. He's like, I don't want to watch it because it has different characters than the original. And it doesn't actually relate to the original film in any way. It's like a different story but using the same concept. That's just weird. Did he never see the Godzilla remake? Oh wait, yes he did. Did he never see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake? Oh yes he did. That's how a remake works. You have different characters and it's a different story in its own right that uses the same concept of the original. That's what a remake is. And he's acting like he's never heard of one before. His reasoning just doesn't really make much sense. And it almost feels scripted, like he googled reasons not to see remake and then read it. But I think I know, and I think anybody who thought about it for more than 5 seconds knows why he refuses to watch it and why he refuses to review it. He doesn't want to get the unquestionable bad publicity that he thinks he'll get if he does. If he sees the movie and he gives it a positive review, he's going to get tons of harassment from the harassment mobs that have been plaguing this movie, downvoting countless videos that have been posted on YouTube and harassing the director and the actresses and the actors involved in this movie as much as possible. He's going to get all those downvotes, and some of the people downvoting him will be his audience. And he'll lose some of his viewers. If he gives it a bad review, if he ends up not liking it and gives it a bad review, then he risks being associated with these hate mobs that are completely acting utterly crappy. In fact, that's already happened to an extent, because after his review, the Amazing Atheist, one of the biggest jerk-offs on the whole internet, came running to his defense. And this guy has MRA anti-feminism running in his blood, and he's a horrible guy, one you would never want to be associated. And now he's backing up the Angry Video Game Nerd. So even though the Angry Video Game Nerd is trying to take himself out of this whole debate so he doesn't look bad, he's still looking bad. Now, that's why I think he's doing this. I think he's doing this because he just doesn't want the bad backlash that reviewing it could cause. Either be positive and he gets hate mobs, or be negative and he gets associated with hate mobs. Both horrible results. So he's trying to take himself out of the equation. And to be honest, I'm not going to hold it against him. I've gotten a little bit harassed due to the video that I made. Not nearly as significant because I'm not a big internet name. I'm a small guy. Makes sense. But the hate for this movie goes beyond words, and if he wants to avoid that, you know what? That's his call to make. It's his life, it's not mine. I would have liked to see his review, but I respect him if he's not up to harassment. No one should have to put up with harassment. The Angry Video Games Nerd, James Roloff, is still a cool cat in my book, even if he doesn't want to review this movie, because it's understandable he'd have to put up with harassment, and nobody wants to put up with that crap. On to my actual review. So, on to the review. That's my thoughts on James, but on to the actual review. So, this trailer focused a lot more on the action elements than the comedy elements, and showed off more of the action elements to show that this would not be just a comedy, it would be a more balanced film. And I think they did that because the jokes didn't play too well for some people in the original trailer. For me personally, the jokes in this new trailer didn't play as well. I only laughed once rather hard at an editing trick where they said, "We don't want anyone to panic," and then one of the Ghostbusters runs out and starts panicking. Obviously, that doesn't actually happen in the movie because it was just a clever editing trick in the trailer, but that was the only part that really made me laugh. But the trailer was actually a better trailer than the prior trailers because it really did show off that this movie would be more of a comedy. Well, would be more than a comedy, would have action and adventure elements. Still didn't show off any horror elements though. We got a new reference to horror. It referenced Jaws. So now we have a reference to Exorcist and a reference to Jaws, but that's not really horror elements, that's just references. That's basically what you do if you're not comfortable in doing horror, but you still want to do a shout out to horror. You just start throwing in references because you don't actually know how to do horror. And I was hoping Paul Feig could pull out the horror element a bit better than that. I really was. We also finally got to see Rowan, the villain of the film, in his final big form, destroying the city. Some people thought it was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's not. It's the new bad guy. Sorry, you guys. It's not Stay Puft. Actually, it looks like the leak that I read about Warwick Davis, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right this time around, playing Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It looks like that leak that I read is untrue. He doesn't seem to be in the film at all. And it would be weird if they had two giant monsters destroying the city. I don't think they would do that. That wouldn't make any sense. So he won't likely be in the film. He could still, but it looks like that news report that I read, that sounds so cool, might not pan out. One really good thing about the trailer that I kind of liked is it did show off the ghosts with more animalistic forms. I actually made a complaint with the first trailer saying the ghosts weren't animalistic enough. In the original Ghostbusters, they had weird and bizarre designs with extra limbs, and you didn't know what they were, and they looked really unique and original. This had that a bit more. It had this dragon kind of thing, and it had this shadow ghost that was completely black with red eyes. So both unique and cool designs. So more of that would be cool. And I did like the action elements. There was one part that I think was a shout out against the hate mobs that have been against this movie. And that was Kevin comes to the rescue dressed as a Ghostbuster. He said, he's like, "I'm a real Ghostbuster. I was born to be a Ghostbuster." And the moment he says this, he gets possessed instantly by a ghost. And he becomes evil and then drives away and probably destroys half the city. So yeah, that was a very snide comment that I felt came from Paul Feig, saying, "Oh, you really want a guy Ghostbuster? Here you go. Here's a guy Ghostbuster. Here's the guy Ghostbuster that you want so bad because you don't like women Ghostbusters. Here's the guy Ghostbuster. Oh wait, no, he's not in the movie. He actually got possessed. Sorry guys, sorry." So yeah, it felt like a very snide comment, kind of saying, "This is what you want? Well, you can't have it, okay?" Very snide, almost rude comment. But I think it's well warranted considering all the hate this film has gotten. I think the director and the filmmakers were bound to fight back sooner or later. And this was a very creative and funny way to do so. So I actually really liked that bit. But yeah, one thing is starting to worry me a bit, and that is that, as I mentioned, the jokes in this weren't as funny as the original jokes in the first trailer, and they didn't mesh too well with the action. They kind of paused the action to do the joke. And I realize doing different genres is a tricky balancing act, but if we get really into these adventure scenes and then all of a sudden we stop for this over-the-top joke, it could really mess up the pace of the film. I'm just saying it could really mess up the pace of the film. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But some of those jokes were a bit on the weaker side. But once again, better ghost designs. I like the action elements. I thought there's still some smart, snide elements. And I like the bit with Kevin. So I am still all for this. No matter how much hate this movie gets, I am still watching this because I am a rebel. I'm a rebel. But once again, I have no hard feelings towards James. No hard feelings. I totally understand where he's coming from. And I respect him for it. You don't have to put up with harassment, James. That's your choice to make. I am sorry, so sorry, that you have accidentally become associated with some horrible people like the Amazing Atheist. You have my sympathies. You're a cool guy. Keep up the great reviews. You're awesome. And hopefully this movie will be awesome. But we'll find out when I give my review, when it eventually comes out. We still got like 2 months to wait, you guys. Yeesh.